Hello, Mr. Hansen. My name's David. I'm a security officer from Australia. I'd just like a moment of your time. Hopefully it won't be too long. Long story short, TEDx in 2018 made a video that's entitled Let's Be Mature About Pedophilia. This is a very dangerous TEDx talk where a self-proclaimed psychologist who's worked with the police try to give her advice on how we can assist pedophiles. She has very dangerous ideas, and TEDx should be held account for this. 17,000 dislikes, many comments, outraged. This happened in 2018, and nothing's happened. Please do an investigation on this. I'll show you maybe 15 minutes worth of footage and my rebuttals. If you have time, please look through it. If not, by all means, look at the original video. But please, Mr. Hansen, look into this, because TEDx is a huge platform with a lot of power, and nothing happened, you know? So please, everybody, share this to Mr. Hansen. Please, Mr. Hansen, look into this as well. And if you could please message me saying, hey, I'm looking into it, or I'd just really appreciate it, sir. Thank you for your time.
Report massive increases in cases in the last couple of years.
Firstly, she is a self-proclaimed psychologist, and she says that she works for the police. But look at this very crude, she literally has just some random graphic of a hacker and a line going upwards. You know, automatically there should be a red flag for people who think that she's the best person to get advice from.
It's like telling me, we know that you love your boyfriend and we don't minimize that love. However, you cannot act out on it, ever.
Okay, this is the first example of her trying to manipulate the audience, using a very dangerous and very twisted, false comparison. Let's use a more appropriate comparison, because she's referring to her and her boyfriend, two adults who can consent. Not a very appropriate comparison. Let's use a better comparison. And from the top of my head, I am struggling financially, so I have a desire to get money by any means necessary. What's one way I can do it? I can go downstairs, get my kitchen knife, and wait for somebody at an ATM and put it to their back and steal money from them. That is an inclination that I may have. That inclination is illegal, it's immoral, and it's wrong. That's the same thing with someone with the inclination to have sex with children. It's an immoral inclination, it's a wrong inclination. You cannot consent to having sex with a child. A child cannot consent to having sex with an adult, just like somebody cannot consent into me stabbing them. That's called murder, that's called attempted murder, that's robbery. So this example that she's giving, what she's doing is she's trying to manipulate the viewers, the audience, into having sympathy towards pedophiles. This idea that, oh, they're just struggling, they're not dangerous, they're just misunderstood, they're struggling, they need help. Soon she's going to talk about, you know what, we'll get to that. You'll see.
Talking about a sexual orientation, something that we simply cannot change. And on top of that, every day new people are born with the same difficulty. So it's not practical to eliminate these people from society. They haven't done anything wrong.
Okay. Let's talk about practicality, and then we'll talk about her last statement, the most dangerous one. In society, we have psychologists, we have doctors, we have youth counselors, we have teachers, and we have police officers. If right now I was depressed, and I felt that I was a danger to myself, to someone else, I can call up the police and ask for what's called a welfare check. That is what my taxes go into. If you were struggling with sexual desires towards children, you can privately go see a psychologist, a counselor, to assist you with this. There are many forms of help that you can get. So what she's trying to do is she's trying to build society up as if there's no way to help pedophiles who genuinely know that there's something wrong with them and who want to receive assistance. She's trying to make this picture out that there's no assistance. There's plenty of assistance. And along with that, there is no excuse. Let's have a listen to this one more time.
On top of that, every day new people are born with the same difficulty. So it's not practical to eliminate these people from society. They haven't done anything wrong.
Not practical to eliminate these people from society. Well, what do you mean by that? You see, she's vague enough that she tries to make you have your own ideas what she means by elimination. What are you talking about? By elimination, do you mean throw them into a Holocaust? I personally would have no issue with that. But again, no man is above the law. You cannot be a vigilante and go kill these people. Or is she referring to what is most likely locking them up, holding them to account? That is very practical. How is this practical? For one, it eliminates pedophiles from the closeness of the rest of society. They're in prison. Number two, it sends a message out to other people that this is unacceptable. We do not accept pedophilia in Western society, and I'm sure in many other societies as well. But we're referring to the Western because this is where we're at. And this whole idea that she has, that there's nothing we can do to assist. We're not trying to fix pedophilia because we can't. It's not possible. What we can do is hold those who are attempting to engage in it, hold those who are currently engaging in it, and hold future people that will try to engage in it to account. And that includes people who try to actively seek out child pornography. And this last point, they haven't done anything wrong. Yes, they have. If you're referring to those who have not attempted to look for child pornography, haven't done anything wrong, that's fair enough. But you see, she's trying to weasel that into her argument, so again, we feel sympathy for them. Again, pedophiles have all the necessary aids to assist them in preventing potential crimes. So again, she is manipulating the audience.
People from society, they haven't done anything wrong. So rather than letting our emotions rule, please let's be mature about this problem.
Okay, this is another example of her, again, manipulating the audience, manipulating the narrative. Don't let your emotions rule. She would go on to talk about how we shouldn't be throwing rocks through pedophiles' houses and how we shouldn't be screaming, oh, execute them, blah, 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 throw them. Look, like any normal human being, I'll be more than happy for each pedophile in this world to receive a bullet to the head. I don't believe that there's a cure for them in this world. But at the end of the day, I'm a man that respects authority. That's why I'm a security officer. People have requested, I've actually had police officer friends who I've assisted in investigations, that straight away they said, David, we will recommend you to the police force. At the moment, I'm happy where I am. I think I'm helping people where I'm at the moment. But my point is, I respect authority. And to respect the authority of governments and of the police, I'm not going to go become a vigilante and kill pedophiles. Nobody is doing this, you know? The ones that are getting rocks thrown through their houses are probably those in the LGBT or Muslims right now. There's a shooting. She's trying, again, manipulate the audience into saying, no, you're being emotional. You're not thinking rationally. But again, in all the things she's saying, it's not logical, it's not rational, and it's impractical. Her solutions, if anything, are going to damage the future children. And we'll see.
I tell you from experience, this stigma is simply not correct. In my career, I've seen sex offenders with a lot of life potential. Social, charismatic men. Men with no psychological disorders whatsoever.
At this second here, I'm finished, pretty much. She just said no psychological disorders whatsoever. I'm pretty sure, Madeleine, a man who wants to have sex with a child has a disorder. That is a disorder. She, in her own words, says that it's not. There's nothing else to say. She's a danger to society, and she is an enabler of this speech.
Think about this 18-year-old who took a nude picture of his 15-year-old girlfriend and then shares it with a friend who sends it to the whole school. Yes, definitely, we should have a proper conversation with them. But should they really learn the hard way? Should they have a criminal record for the rest of their lives?
That's up to the justice system. You see, again, she's giving these scenarios that don't apply to the conversation. But just to answer that, yeah, if you commit a crime, you will be held accountable. That's how society works, you know? In this case, should he be a sex offender for life or anything like that? Well, everything should be treated by a case-by-case scenario. But at the end of the day, he committed a crime. He knew what he was doing. If I go and shoot somebody and I get life in prison, or if I'm in America, I get capital punishment, that's on me. And just for the record, 18 years old, you're an adult. You know the difference between right and wrong at 18. You know, so should this guy who sent out nude pics and ruined another girl's life, innocent girl's life, he should face the consequences of the justice system fully. You know, and for someone who claims to work for the justice system, she has no idea what she's talking about. You know, again, you saw the graph. Oh, she's incompetent.
What about this 20-year-old?
Okay, what about the 20-year-old?
Silently been struggling for a couple of years now with pedophilic feelings, and who's now thinking about approaching children online. Don't you think that someone like that would be better off if we were willing to speak to him? If we were willing to help, if we would want to listen and help him towards treatment?
You absolute idiot. Okay, how about this example? I have a hatred for my government. I perhaps hate Australia, so much so that I'm starting to think about pledging my allegiance to ISIS. Shouldn't someone help me? Of course someone should help me. Someone should help me see why it's wrong, understand why it's wrong, and understand that these inclinations that I have are immoral and that there's great consequences. But the fact of the matter is, even before that, I knew it's wrong. I know to kill somebody is illegal. It's wrong. You don't take someone else's life. You don't do that. And this example you're saying, you know, you're trying to make us feel sympathy because it's a young person thinking about committing a crime. This isn't like stealing, you know, candy from a store. We're talking about children, a grown adult with sexual inclinations towards children. You know, we're not talking about a young person. We're talking about an adult. I don't care if this adult, you see that she keeps trying to use the young person argument, so you feel guilty about them. Let's give you the youngest example. In this case, let's say 18 years old. 18 years old is an adult. You know that having sex with children is wrong. He has plenty of help. I've already explained the help. Doctors, psychologists, your teacher, you know, your family, you know, they have plenty of help. And if they don't want to follow the laws of the land, then prison is awaiting them. You cannot defend them, which is what you're doing under the guise of protecting children.
The biggest mistake is to say that it won't happen in my area, because that is to deny the problem.
Okay.
Because it happens everywhere.
This is the last bit, Mr. Hansen. I won't waste more of your time. You get my point. This last point I'm going to make. This is where she becomes very dangerous. Again, she's manipulating the audience. Nobody says that it won't happen in my area. Nobody thinks that. It is an attitude of some people, but most people like, it can happen to anyone. My neighbor can be a pedophile. My next door neighbor could be a pedophile. A family member could be a pedophile. That's very true. Nobody in today's time is naive enough not to know this. But she's trying to shame the audience, saying, if you think like this, then you're part of the problem. Nobody thinks like this. Very few people do. And those who do need to have a serious, mature thought. But everything that this woman is saying is absolutely dangerous. And she should not be anywhere near law enforcement. She should not be anywhere near children. She's an enabler. And she is just another person who is slowly, I guess you can say, glorifying pedophilia. So we can feel like they're just normal people. They're not. They are a threat. They are a danger. And if you're struggling with a desire to have sex with children, you need assistance, go see a psychologist. Because it's a very dangerous threat to society. You know, this isn't coming from emotion. This is just facts. Everything that she's saying is coming from her emotion or passion for trying to assist these pedophiles. But She's not assisting them, she's enabling them. So Mr. Hansen, if you've sit through this 15 minutes, probably longer, please look into this. And TEDx needs to be held account. So yeah, thank you for your time.